Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Leith42 and this is my first ever Twitch stream. I'm very excited. This will also become the first video in my YouTube channel. Um, I'm just really investing in ARPG life right now. I recently launched a website, arpg.life. Initially, it'll start off as listings of different games and studios and content creators, just kind of a resource for people who like to play ARPGs. Over time, I hope to grow it into including build guides and reviews and that sort of stuff. Um, but I'm just really into ARPGs, and I want to share that with as many people as I can in whatever way I can. So, without much further ado, let's get in to the game. And I have chosen this game, Zukarnii the Descent, for a very particular reason. Um, I also have recently started making games. This is one of the first games that I made that actually kind of feels like a game. It's live online, and I will include the link somewhere. So if any of you actually want to try it, you're welcome to. It doesn't cost anything. You play it right in your browser. You don't have to download it. But very exciting for me to play this, and not only that, but when the earliest days, the thing that got me hooked into video games was a game called D&D, which was very much like this. It was ASCII, um, you know, text characters instead of graphics, but it was very cool. The first time I played it, I was hooked, and so when I started making games, I tinkered around with a lot of little tutorials and things like that. But the first game that I actually made that was like a game is this, and it's based on the first games that I played. So first things first, let's see what we got for inventory. Okay, not the greatest luck. We got all whites, which is actually pretty normal. Sometimes you get lucky and get a green here, or by some insane miracle, you can even get blues sometimes as a starting item. And let's see, prowess is good. That is kind of like strength and constitution combined, so that's going to give you melee damage and hit points. Intellect is your casting damage and mana pool, so let's get that up a little bit. I'm going to plan on going with a hybrid build here. And we'll up the agility a little bit as well. All right, and let's get a torch lit so we can see where we're going. We've got some mobs here right off the bat. All right, that's what we like. Get straight in the game and start hitting monsters. Yeah, no good drops yet, but you can't really expect that right off the bat. So let's see what we got. Oh, random treasure chest. So games like this, they're kind of simple, but it's really nostalgic for those of us who played it in our youth, and maybe even novel to people who weren't playing games yet when this kind of stuff was. All right, we got a fountain. Fountains can be kind of cool. They always heal you, but they can also give you a permanent max increase to your hit points, and they can also give you permanent stat increase. They also can give you negative effects, which I won't disclose. Let's see what we got. So I did cheat a little bit. I mean, the gameplay itself is really like the ASCII, but I have kind of incorporated a little bit of more modern ARPG UI into it, even keeping the green kind of terminal theme. But appears we did not get so lucky on this one. We did get healed to full, but we did not get a stat increase, and we did not get more hit points. We also did, however, avoid any of the negative effects. We got a cobalt here. Oh, finally. Okay, here we go. Staff. So it's the same damage, but literally double the range. So we are moving on here. So I don't know if you can really call this an ARPG. Kind of not really. It did start off kind of turn-based, so the very first implementation of this game you moved one square at a time and everything happened in turns. And monsters only moved when you moved. Like you move a tile, they move a tile. If you attack them, they can attack you back. And then I was doing a little bit of fanboying out on Condor, Blizzard North people. And I read, actually watched a video with David Brevik, and he talked about basically being forced to turn Diablo 1 from turn-based into action, creating this genre that we all love so much. But apparently he resisted it for a long time, and then he finally gave in. And when he did, he basically tested it just by shortening the turn cycles so much that it felt like real time. And when I saw that, I was already in the middle of developing this game. And so it instantly occurred to me that I could essentially implement the same kind of thing in this game. And now I basically just got rid of the end turn requirement and let the monsters go on every frame instead of when you make a move. And now it's a little more action. So. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see that story and to be working on something. And in my case, it wasn't because I didn't want to make it action. I just literally didn't know how. Oh boy, okay, we got a boss here. This boss is Zukarnii Tikrob, and it looks like with the boss we also have a little bit of a graphical glitch. Not clearing stuff that's beyond our visible range, but hey, you can fix that later. All right, this guy is a horrible, horrible nightmare. He doesn't do much damage at all. You'll notice I can just stand here and let him beat on me, and it really isn't doing much. But if you watch my gold, it is disappearing. So Zukarnii Tikrob is a greed demon, and he, with every hit, has a chance to steal your gold. And he can take you down to almost nothing. You never get to nothing because it's percentage based, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, Zukarnii Tikrob, greed demon, nasty guy. He has a ton of hit points and is very hard to kill at low levels. Doesn't do much damage, but he will rob your gold big time. And let's see what he gave us. Great, nothing. A white item. All right, let's see here. Yeah, he dropped the junk armor. Zukarnii Tikrob. If you look closely at that name, you might notice a reference. I don't know. There might be a reference, there might not be a reference. Maybe you have to figure it out. Yeah, greed demon. He loves. If I would have got his unique item, I think it would have been much more interesting to figure out who he is. But yeah, maybe you guys will just have to play my silly game and find old Zukarnii Tikrob and get that unique yourself, so you can get the whole joke. All right, so we're doing good. Level 2, tier 2. Ding! That is a level up ding. That goes back to Dark Age of Camelot. Whenever someone leveled up, everyone would say ding in the global chat for some reason. I don't know, maybe it had that audio effect at some point. I started playing a little bit after launch and I don't remember it, but anyways, we're celebrating the Dark Age of Camelot level up ding with an actual ding when you level up in this game. And we got a stat point to invest because we leveled up. So intellect is spell damage and mana. Prowess is melee damage and hit points. Agility. In a later version of this game that I'm currently working on, it's movement speed and crit. But since there is no movement speed in here, it's still, even though it's kind of real time, it's still tile-based movement. So there is no movement speed. But for now, agility in this version of the game is just crit. And I think I'm going to invest into some more magic damage and mana. Alright, we got an elite. Capital letters are elite mobs. They do hit a little harder. Sometimes drop better loot, but not this time. More whites. Okay. The gods are not smiling on this venture yet. You would think that you'd be able to get some decent drops in your own game that you made, but no. No, we're all subject to RNG. Oh, and I just found the stairs down too. I was totally not paying attention to my health. But that's what happens. I guess, this is the first stream. I didn't intend it to be hours and hours. I don't expect anyone to actually be live online watching, but, you got to start somewhere. So this is my first stream, and I think a very appropriate way to end it, getting killed on stream in my own game that I made. Anyway, if you liked the video, please follow, comment, join in the chat, come back and check us out. I'll put links and stuff. Peace out.